I would now like to recognize Mr. Watkins for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Chairwoman Loria. And I'm honored to testify on one of the bills being considered today, my legislation, H.R. 6060, Veterans Burial Benefits Correction Act. H.R. 6060 would authorize the VA to provide outer burial receptacles for each new casketed grave site in a state or tribal cemetery that receives a grant from the Veterans Cemetery Grants Program. Providing an OBR is a crucial step in the burial process. It encases and protects the casket from the weight of the earth and heavy equipment that passes over the grave, and it prevents the ground from settling. By extending this benefit to state and tribal VA grant-funded cemeteries, this bill would create parity for this important burial benefit and is currently provided to our nation's veterans and their eligible families, members buried in VA national cemeteries, and would alleviate the financial burden on the veterans' families for purchasing an ORB if they choose to bury their loved ones in a state or tribal veterans cemetery. Through the National Cemetery Administration, our nation's veterans and their eligible family members have access to burial in 135 national VA cemeteries that honor military service. For veterans who do not have reasonable access to a national VA cemetery that is within 75 miles of their residence, the NCA's Veteran Cemetery Grant Program provides grants to state and tribal cemeteries. With the system of national, state, and tribal cemeteries, 95% of the veterans eligible for burial have reasonable access to a cemetery. It's our duty to ensure not only reasonable access to a cemetery, but proper burial and memorialization of our nation's heroes and without adding financial burden to their families. To do so, burial benefits must be consistent regardless of whether the veteran or their family member is buried in a national, state, or tribal cemetery. The Veterans Burial Benefit Correction Act is a common sense bill that creates parity for the OBR benefit and is an important step in ensuring consistent burial benefits. I look forward to continuing this discussion. Thank you, Chairwoman Loria. I yield back.